Let's put the garden furniture out on the lawn this morning, shall we?
Oh, not now. I haven't finished painting the gazebo.
You're painting it?
I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, why didn't you ask me to help?
Well, it's rather a messy chore.
I don't mind. After all, didn't I do pretty well painting the terrace furniture?
You certainly did. Is Mrs. Corey going to be working in the studio all day?
She hasn't said yet.
It's so nice out here. She might want to scout out here.
Well, ask her. Brooks, you were going to restock the fish pond, remember?
Well, I ordered them, but there's been some delay.
May I go with you when you pick up the fish?
I wouldn't dream of doing it without you. After all, who's going to talk to the fish in the tank while we're driving along?
Oh, Brooks.
Why, my, you are in a good mood, aren't you?
Ah, such a joy having Mrs. Corey and Amanda back in the house.
It certainly is.
Now, if only Mr. Corey were with us again. You don't believe that's going to happen, do you?
I don't want to discuss it.
You know something you're not telling me.
Louise, this isn't the time to talk about it.
Why not?
Mrs. Corey might come in at any moment.
You mean it's something she doesn't know?
She wouldn't want to hear us gossiping about her and Mr. Corey.
I just want to know what's going on.
You see, here she is. Did you want something, madam?
Oh, there you are.
Will you be needing the car?
No, not till after lunch.
Mrs. Corey, is Amanda with you in the studio?
Oh, well, she got fussy, so I put her back in the nursery.
I'll go make sure she's all right.
She's asleep, Louise.
Oh, good. Brooks and I were just wondering if perhaps you might not like to work outside, now that the weather's so nice.
Perhaps this afternoon.
Is something wrong, madam?
Have you returned the bracelet I found in the car?
Not yet.
But you know whose it is.
Well, not really.
Well, you certainly know who is riding in the car with Mr. Corey.
Well, yes.
Will you stop making a pest of yourself?
Listen, what's going on with you anyway? You come over here to the office the other day, you're all smiles, you encourage me, you even asked me to come over there to dinner, and a few hours later, you call up and say you don't want me there.
Yeah, well, I changed my mind.
Well, why?
I have my reasons.
And now you don't even want to take phone calls from me?
Yes, that's right.
Well, I demand an explanation.
You figure it out.
I've been trying to, Rachel, but I'm completely baffled.
Well, you won't be if you think back over who you took out to dinner while I was gone.
What?
You heard me. Oh, now what?
Oh, good morning, Miss Bancroft.
Brian?
Sorry, Rachel. Not Dad, it's only me.
Oh, hello, Ted.
I wanted to welcome you home.
Oh, terrific. How'd you find out I was here?
Oh, Dad told me at lunch yesterday. Did you have a nice holiday?
Yeah, I had a terrific holiday. Look, I can't chat right now.
Oh, I'm not here to chat, Rachel.
Oh.
You promised to show me a new sculpture when it was finished.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm hoping there's something I can buy for my apartment.
Well, actually, I did complete 3 new pieces, but they're all going to the gallery.
Oh, I'm perfectly willing to pay Elena's commission.
Well, you have to talk to Elena about that.
Oh, is that really necessary?
Well, yeah, there's a Mr. Quigley in Chicago, and he has right of first refusal on all my work.
Oh, I see. Then you're right. I should talk to Elena.
Yeah, she photographs them, and then she sends the photographs on to him.
Well, does he buy most of them?
No, but as I say, he has right of first refusal.
Well, can I take a look at them, see what I'd like?
Yeah, okay. Just a minute, okay?
Sure.
Brooks? Louise?
Yes, Mrs. Corey?
I'll be in the studio with Ted if anybody needs me. Brooks, I will be using the car before lunch.
Very well, madam.
And I want you to put Amanda's car seat in the back, please.
I'll put it in right away.
No, right now you're supposed to do that errand we talked about, all right? Ted, come on.
Brooks? So that's what you've been keeping from me?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Just what exactly was Mrs. Corey talking about?
She found a lady's bracelet in the car.
When?
First day she got back.
That's why she reneged on her dinner invitation to Mr. Corey.
She immediately got out of the car to phone him.
Was she alone in the car?
No, Ada and Nancy were with her.
I see.
She seemed very upset.
Apparently she still is. Who's the lady, Brooks?
I'm sorry, Louise, I can't tell you that.
I won't repeat it to anyone.
It's best if I kept it to myself.
Do I know her?
Louise, don't ask leading questions.
All right.
And don't get annoyed with me.
Oh, I'm not.
Will you help me with the gazebo?
You've got an errand to do for Mrs. Corey, remember?
Yes, I know. I'll dash over there now and come back in time to take Mrs. Corey and Amanda for their drive. See you later.
Rachel?
Hello, Brian.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I couldn't get rid of that client in the conference room.
It's all right. I should have called, but I didn't think of it.
Something wrong?
I don't know. I guess, yeah, sure, everything.
Well, come on, let's sit down and talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you go to see Mac the other day, as you said you would?
Yes, I went over to his office.
And?
We had a very agreeable conversation.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
And I very foolishly invited him over for dinner.
What's foolish about that?
Well, you see, I didn't realize that while I was gone, he was seeing somebody else.
Oh, now that's ridiculous.
Is it?
Oh, Rachel, don't start suspecting of things like that.
It's more than a suspicion, Brian. I have proof.
What proof?
I'd rather not say.
Well, that's not very convincing, Rachel.
Look, Brian, Brooks knows about it.
Brooks told you that Mac is seeing another woman?
No, he's trying to shield Mac, of course, but the evidence is indisputable.
Oh, what evidence is that?
I don't want to tell you, Brian.
Then why did you come to me about it?
I just want you to understand what's going on in case Mac complains, all right?
Do you know who the woman is?
No, and I'm not sure I want to.
Well, I think you should talk to Mac about it.
Why? So he can give me his same old routine about being only half alive when I'm not with him?
Well, I think that's true, Rachel.
Are you kidding? It's perfectly clear, Brian, that he's only too damn much alive the minute my back is turned.
Oh, you're not being fair to him.
Look, Brian, just don't you defend him to me, all
Then
right?
don't put him down to me, please.
Can we talk about something else?
Yes, if you wish.
I would like you to hire another detective to find Jamie for me.
Well, I thought you'd given up that idea.
I gave up the idea because of Mac. If I can't count on Mac, I would at least like my son to be home where he belongs.
All right, Rachel, I'll talk to a detective and I'll get back to you in a day or two.
Thank you.
See you again. Liz, would you leave us alone, please? Sit down, dear.
I really shouldn't take up too much of your valuable time.
Oh, it's more precious to Liz than it is to me.
Well, I did want to thank you in person for returning the bracelet I thought I'd lost. Liz, dear.
Oh, Iris, how are you? All right now?
What, do you think I could speak to Mac for a moment?
I wish you would.
What do you mean?
Well, Janice Frame is in there with him.
Really?
She dropped in without warning, and Mac just dropped everything to talk to her.
How intriguing.
I'm sorry, but I haven't the vaguest notion of what you're talking about.
Brooke gave Angie the bracelet, and she gave it to me in the office this morning.
But what bracelet?
This one, Mac.
Oh, yeah. You were wearing that the other evening.
Yeah, well, Brooks picked me up at Willis's apartment the other night when we went out.
I know, my dear. I sent him over there to get you.
He didn't know that I'd moved to my own place since then.
Oh, neither did I.
Yeah, I found a charming little place over on Spruce Street.
How nice. But what does a charming little place over on Spruce Street have to do with this bracelet?
That's why Brooks took it back to Angie instead of to me.
I understand that, but that isn't what's confusing me.
Well, now I don't understand.
Well, I don't know a thing about this bracelet. I've never heard of it before.
Oh, Mac, I'm sorry. Brooks probably found it himself and just didn't tell you when he returned it.
Ah, now that seems likely.
Probably fell off in the back of the car.
Sounds even more likely.
I am surprised that Brooks knew it was mine.
Well, that was a pretty safe guess.
Why is that?
I haven't been in the limousine with anyone but you.
Oh, Mac. Listen, I'm sorry. I assumed that you'd ask Brooke to return it to me, that's all.
Quite all right. I understand, dear.
I guess I have wasted your time.
Never a waste of time to be with you guys. I'm still busy, Liz.
It's not Liz, Mac.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I am still busy.
I know you are, but I must speak to you for just one moment, if Janice doesn't mind.
No, that's all right. I had to get back to the office anyway. I'm sorry again for taking up your time on such a false assumption.
Please don't worry about it. I'll see you to the elevator.
Mac.
I'll be right back, darling.
Can you pull yourself together enough to talk to me now?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, never mind.
What do you mean by that?
I'm too upset to know what I'm saying.
What's upset you, dear?
Read this.
Buzz?
Yes, he's not going to give up his threats.
From Las Vegas, huh?
I noticed that.
I wonder if he's going through the money he extorted from Rachel.
I wouldn't know about that, but I'm beginning to be frightened of him.
Take this to the police.
What good would that do?
My dear, the man's threatening you.
I have no real evidence of that.
Well, he sent you 2 cards.
Well, nothing on those postcards means anything unless one knows the history behind them.
Well, tell the police the history behind it.
I don't want to explain why your former stable boy thinks he can blackmail me.
Well, then why did you bring it to me?
Well, I thought you should know that Buzz is still a threat, not only to me, but to Rachel as well.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you very much for that, Iris.
I'll let you know if I hear from him again.
I would appreciate it if you did.
I'll let you get back to work, darling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again, dear.
Iris, you don't have a talk with the man?
I'm not sure. Liz,
Yes, dear.
does Janice Frame often visit Mac in his office?
Oh, I wouldn't call them exactly visits.
What do you mean?
Well, you see, Janice worked closely with the people here because Willis Frame and his partner do the construction work for the complex.
I'm aware of that.
So, it's only natural that she drops into Mac's offices and other offices.
Yes, of course. It's only natural, as you say. Bye-bye.
I do have one of these while they're still hot.
Oh, thanks, Louise.
Mr. Ewing?
I think I'll just skip it for now.
They're very good, honey.
Louise, you can just leave the tray there. We'll help ourselves.
Shall I freshen anyone's drink before I leave?
Not for me.
Mine's fine.
You haven't even touched it, Larry.
I'll get to it.
Well, Louise, that'll be all. Well, it's good to see you again.
Thanks, Rachel. It was really nice of you to ask us over.
Mom says things are going very well for you.
Bert finally agreed not to contest the divorce.
Oh, that's good.
So it came through this week, and we'll be getting married real soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Larry, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I think maybe I better.
Well, don't be shy.
Well, I don't want to embarrass you, but I don't think I can keep quiet any longer.
Well, say whatever you want to.
I know you've never really liked me.
Well, I don't think that's true anymore.
You were against Clarice getting friendly with me.
Well, why don't we just forget that now?
Well, I'd like to.
Well, then, everything's okay.
I don't agree.
What's bothering you?
It's Blaine.
What about her?
I know you have no use for her at all.
I've never denied that.
It still rankles, you know?
I'm sorry, Larry, but I can't change my mind about Blaine.
I wish you could.
Larry, she's taken off with my son to God knows where.
You know, I miss Blaine, too.
She'll be all right.
That's what you think. She strikes most people as being hard and ambitious.
You're saying she's not?
I'm saying that she's more than that.
Larry, I've never seen any evidence of that.
Yeah, well, I did. I remember when Blaine was just a little girl and she used to cry to herself on the ranch house steps because nobody paid any mind to her. Now, if she is what you think she is, she's got a good reason for it. I'm not going to let anybody hurt Blaine.
She's lucky to have a brother like you.
Well, I'm not asking for any special favors because of it.
I know you're not.
I just want you to know where I stand.
You've made that very clear.
No offense, ma'am.
Look, I admire what you've said. But I can't share your regard for your sister.
I'm not asking you to.
Okay. Now, why don't you have some of your drink?
Yeah, sure.
Here, have one of Louise's canapes. Actually, have two. They're small.
All right.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
Now, what did you come here to see me about?
Well, Larry really didn't want to.
Well, yeah, I sort of figured that.
It's all right now.
Mom said you wanted to ask me a favor?
Yeah, but if you don't agree, we can make other arrangements.
Well, suppose you tell me what it is.
Well, we'd like to be married outdoors.
Well, that sounds nice.
And we were thinking of finding a spot in the park, but Ada and Pop came up with another idea, depending on you.
What?
Well, We'd like to be married in your garden.
Oh. Well, that's where you'll be married.
You mean it?
Well, unless Larry wants to be married somewhere else.
Mrs. Corey, you're not obliged to agree to this.
Well, I don't do things I don't want to do, Larry. And I would like to make up for misjudging you. And Clarice has been an old and trusted friend. I would like to do something special for her.
Thanks, Rachel.
Well, then it's all set.
Okay.
Fine by me.
Good. Well, why don't we go out to the garden and see where you want to have the ceremony, okay?
Okay.
I'll turn out the outside lights. What is it, Larry?
I just want to say thank you.
Oh, listen, you don't owe me any thanks. I just want Clarice's husband to be at ease in my home.
You think I can be?
Sure. I think we both can be, as long as we stay off subjects we don't agree on.
Okay.
Let's not keep Clarice waiting.
Well, Miss Corey.
Good evening, Louise. Mrs. Corey in?
Mrs. McGowan is with her.
Oh, well, Ada won't mind. Oh, they're not here.
They were a moment ago.
Well, maybe Ada wanted to go up and see,
It's not Ada.
Oh, well, who is it?
Clarice McGowan and her fiancé.
Why didn't you say so?
You didn't give me a chance to.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll slip up and see Amanda.
Oh, well, You don't want me to tell Mrs. Corey?
No.
There they are out in the garden. You could join them there.
I'd rather not, if you don't mind. I'll just go up there while she's entertaining her guests. Louise,
Yes, Mr. Corey.
is Brooks here now?
Yes, he's downstairs in the kitchen.
Would you tell him that I'd like to speak to him just for a moment?
Of course.
Excuse me, sir, but Louise told me you wanted to speak to me.
Yes, I most certainly do.
Something wrong, sir.
I cannot understand why you returned Miss Frame's bracelet to her without telling me that you'd found it.
I didn't find it, sir.
Well, who did?
I did. But I didn't know who it belonged to until you said.
I'm sorry, Brooks.
It's quite all right, sir.
You may go, Brooks.
Yes, madam.
Why didn't you ask me who the bracelet belonged to?
I'm not in the habit of discussing your lady friends with you.
Janice is not my lady friend.
Oh, really? Then why was her bracelet in the back seat of the limousine?
Because I took her out to dinner one evening.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I did, really. We were continuing a business conference we'd started at the office with Roy Barrett.
You really expect me to believe that?
Well, why shouldn't you?
Because I'm only too aware of your proclivities as far as young women are concerned.
Oh, come on, Rachel.
You deny you've chased them all your life.
We're not going to get anywhere pursuing this subject.
Well, then why don't you just leave?
Well, I am going to as soon as I've seen Amanda.
You're not seeing Amanda
Now,
tonight.
wait a minute.
I decide who sees Amanda, and I've decided that tonight is not the night.
Okay, Rachel. We'll just see who decides what. About Amanda and about a few other important things as well.
Sunday night, see the conclusion of The Boy from Dead Man's Bayou on The Wonderful World of Disney. Then get set for hilarious comedy as Brian Keith and Doris Day star in With Six You Get Egg Roll, the madcap big event about two families who merge and the comic complications that follow. Both Sunday night on NBC. Tonight, see NBC Nightly News when segment 3 reports on the Republican hopefuls for the 1980